Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Ahsoka series, the Book of Boba Fett and more. As always my dear friends, before we dive into the news, please be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted every single time I post a new video. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's get straight to the news. We begin with a big casting update for the Ahsoka series. Ivanna Sakhno, who you may remember from Pacific Rim, has been cast. Now, before we speculate on who she's going to be playing, Deadline, who broke the news, made it very clear that she's probably going to be playing a brand new character. So let's dive into what they had to say. Ivanna Sakhno has been cast opposite Rosario Dawson and Natasha Liu Bordizzo in the Disney Plus limited series Star Wars Ahsoka, a spin-off of the hit series The Mandalorian. In the limited series, Rosario Dawson stars as Ahsoka Tano, as she did in her live-action debut in The Mandalorian, while Bordizzo is taking on the character of Sabine Wren from the Star Wars Rebels animated series. Sakhno is reportedly playing a newly created character, but representatives for Lucasfilm and Sakhno had no comment yet. Star Wars Ahsoka, written by Dave Filoni and executive produced by Filoni and Favreau, is going to continue Ahsoka Tano's story. The series, which is eyeing a March production date, is also expected to feature an appearance by Hayden Christensen. Ukrainian-born Ivanna Sakhno is known for her roles in the movies Pacific Rim Uprising and The Spy Who Dumped Me, as well as an arc on the Hulu series High Fidelity. Now, it appears as though Lucasfilm have hired Ivanna to be playing a significant role in the series, but speculation is pretty much futile because it's anyone's guess on who she might be playing. Will she be an ally to Ahsoka and Sabine as they continue their hunt for Thrawn and Ezra Bridger, or maybe even a female Chiss in the unknown regions with Thrawn? Now, I will say that as soon as this report broke, immediately she reminded me of Night Sister Merrin, a Dathomirian Night Sister who was a part of Mother Talzin's clan. As I say though, it's most likely a new character. So we will keep our eyes peeled for any more updates on this casting news. So now my dear friends, let's move on and talk about the Book of Boba Fett. We are just under 1 month away from the Book of Boba dropping, and yesterday we got an awesome second TV spot, and I hope they're going to keep them coming until December the 29th. We are probably going to get one or two more as the hype train starts, but they probably won't contain much new footage because Lucasfilm is trying to be as secretive as possible. In yesterday's teaser, of course, we did get that back-to-tank shot of Boba and more of the speeder sequence, but no major reveals, which in a way is best because I personally want all big spoilers to be saved for the series itself, and I know that many of you guys feel the exact same way. Now, from these TV spots and based on previous interviews with Temuera Morrison, we learn that flashbacks are going to be a big deal in the series, especially of how Boba survived the Sarlacc pit, which is alluded to in the Aftermath trilogy but never fully explained. It is in Legends but not in canon. But aside from the recent past, and the fact that we do know we're going to get flashbacks to The Empire Strikes Back, I do wonder just how far back the flashbacks in the series are going to go. And the reason I'm saying all of this today, my dear friends, is that Favreau may have just teased that we could get Jango Fett flashbacks in the Book of Boba. It's something that many of us have wanted ever since the Mandalorian Season 2 finale post-credits scene revealed the Book of Boba Fett as the next upcoming series, and the name Book of Boba Fett implies that different chapters of his life are going to be explored, and that of course includes the past. A show entirely dedicated to Boba Fett has to in some way include his father Jango, who meant the absolute world to him. In one section of Favreau's interview with Empire magazine, he started talking about Jango Fett and how much he meant to Boba. He mentions that during his father's death at the Battle of Geonosis, the trauma of that is what led Boba to experience such tragedy in his life. And even though he was taken in by other bounty hunters, he still was as autonomous as ever. And that seems to be the starting point that they're going with when it comes to Boba's past psychology and how it defines him all of these years later. And Robert Rodriguez, the showrunner, definitely took this into account when planning out the story, so I wonder if they are going to include Jango Fett flashbacks. Considering the show is set to give us Boba Fett flashbacks, and given how easy it would be to incorporate Jango because Temuera Morrison has played both characters, I think it's a very strong possibility that we may get to see Jango Fett even if it's a brief flashback. Favreau then says, Boba is a character who has lived a very challenging and traumatic life, including losing his dad, a mirror image of his own self. Every hero feels the pressure of being the child of their parents' generation. When you're an actual clone, it must be exponentially more difficult to contend with. So I'm very curious to see which direction they could take with this, and if they show us, as they did in The Mandalorian Season 2 Chapter 14, that Jango and the whole Fett legacy still matter to Boba, if he will actually appear in a flashback. And as a second part to this thought, I wonder if he's still actively angry at Mace Windu. Or has a more mature Boba Fett moved on? We don't even know if Boba ever found out about Mace Windu's supposed death in Episode 3. And as you guys know, I don't believe that Mace Windu died, but that is a completely different discussion. So now, my dear friends, staying on the subject of the Book of Boba Fett, some of you have been wondering about directors, and there has been a little bit of confusion about who is doing what. Well, thanks to the information we got yesterday from the official Star Wars Twitter that the show is going to be 7 episodes long, and thanks to a brief mention in Empire magazine, we now know who is directing and how many episodes each person has. So let me break it all down. There are 7 episodes, and we are told that Dave Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard, Steph Green, and Kevin Tancherone all have 1 episode each, with Robert Rodriguez directing the rest, which means that he will have 3 episodes. Interestingly enough, Jon Favreau is a writer and executive producer on the show, but he is explicitly not directing. What stands out to me is that Dave Filoni has 1 episode to direct, just like for The Mandalorian Season 2, where he directed Chapter 13. Now, I suspect, basing this on the past, that his episode is going to be the one that introduces a Clone Wars or Rebels character, and the one character slated to return according to LRM Online Scoop is Cad Bane. If the rumour is indeed true, then Cad will surely appear in Dave Filoni's episode. That being said, my dear friends, nothing is confirmed about this, and this is all conjecture, but I doubt Filoni would let such an opportunity slide. His episode in The Mandalorian Season 2 is the one that gave us live-action Ahsoka, and I don't think Filoni would pass up the chance to wow us all with his Book of Boba Fett episode. But what I will say overall is that 7 episodes struck me as a very strange number, considering The Mandalorian seasons have 8, and the Book of Boba Fett is essentially the next chapter in the Mandalorian story, so you'd assume that 8 would be the total. But no, they've gone with 7. Considering giant frickin' robots were the first ones to break this rumour a few months ago, I wonder if their other leak is true about the rumoured episode titles. And they also had a report a few days later which stated we will see some Mandalorians in this series, and I'm not talking about just Din Djarin, but apparently some other clans. We'll just have to wait and see which rumours and reports turned out to be true. With all of these things, some of the rumours for one show could turn out to be true in another. And given the interconnectedness of the Mandalorian universe with the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and the Mandalorian, a rumour that turns out to be false for the Book of Boba could turn out to be true in a different series. And finally, my dear friends, I just want to show you some of these awesome posters for the Book of Boba. You've probably already seen them, but let's take a look at them anyway. Boba and Fennec looking absolutely epic, and I absolutely love the Tatooine sandy backdrop. Let me know in the comments which one is your favourite. But with that said, my dear friends, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Give your girl a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a massive welcome if you are. And also, if you're feeling generous and you want more videos that you can't find right here on YouTube, then why not consider becoming a patron? You also get access to our Discord server where we talk about all things Star Wars. We have an amazing community and it's a lot of fun. But otherwise, my dear friends, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg, and I'll see you in the next one.